Her secret confession about you changed everything instantly. Beloved one, listen closely. And I come with a message that pierces through illusion and reveals what was hidden behind closed doors. Before you even realized it, words were spoken about you in secrecy. Not casually. Not lightly. But with trembling emotion and undeniable truth. There was a confession made, quiet, unplanned, and impossible to take back. And the moment it left her lips, everything shifted. She tried to hold it in for a long time. She watched you from a distance. Measured your silence. Noticed how you endured things that would have broken others. She studied your restraint, your discipline, your strange calm under pressure. And slowly, something unsettled her. Because what she felt about you did not match the story she had told herself. What she sensed did not align with the role she assigned you in her mind. So one day, without intending to, she confessed the truth. She admitted that you are not ordinary. That your presence carries weight. That when you walk into a room, something shifts. That you awaken reactions she cannot explain. And the moment she said it, the universe responded. Understand this clearly. Not all confessions are romantic. Not all are spoken with love. Some are admissions of fear. Some are acknowledgments of power. Some are moments when the mask finally cracks. Her confession was one of those moments. She revealed that you intimidated her, not because of aggression, but because of clarity. Because you see through people without saying a word. Because you do not chase validation. Because you walk with quiet authority. She confessed that she could no longer pretend you were insignificant. And heaven took note. Because when truth is spoken, especially truth that was resisted, spiritual alignments begin to move. Doors quietly shut. Other doors begin to unlock. You may have felt this already. A sudden change in how people respond to you. A shift in energy. Unexpected distance from certain individuals. A strange sense that something has turned in your favor. That is not coincidence. That is the aftershock of a confession that was never meant to be spoken, but was divinely forced into the open. Beloved, do not underestimate what happens when someone finally admits who you really are. Even in private. Even in fear. Even in denial. Words spoken in secrecy still echo in the spiritual realm. And once they are released, they cannot be recalled. This is why certain dynamics have collapsed without explanation. Why conversations have stopped. Why someone who once underestimated you now watches carefully, or avoids you entirely. She knows now. And that knowing changed everything. There is a reason this confession reached you energetically before it reached you physically. You were meant to feel the shift before you understood it. Because what comes next requires discernment. Do not confront. Do not chase clarity. Do not demand explanations. Your power now is in restraint. Let truth continue to expose itself. If this message resonates deep within you, receive it, not with pride, but with awareness. You are being repositioned. Seen differently. Handled more carefully by the unseen and the seen alike. And this is only the beginning. Because what she confessed was only the surface of a much deeper realization. One she hasn't even fully faced yet. Stay with me. Because in the next moment, I will reveal what she realized immediately after the confession, and why it made her afraid to ever speak your name the same way again. Beloved one, stay present with me. Because once her confession escaped her lips, something else followed, something she did not expect and could not control. The realization came like a wave crashing into her chest. She suddenly understood that the way she had treated you, the way she underestimated you, the way she spoke about you when you were not there, none of it disappeared into silence. In that moment, she felt exposed. Not because you confronted her, not because you demanded truth, but because your spirit had already outgrown the narrative she created about you. She realized something terrifying. You were never operating on the same level she was. While she analyzed, compared, judged, and doubted, you were evolving. While she spoke in secrecy, you were being elevated in silence. And the awareness shook her. She confessed that you made her uncomfortable because you did not react the way she expected. You did not collapse under pressure. You did not beg for clarity. You did not chase approval. Instead, you withdrew with dignity. That withdrawal haunted her more than any argument ever could. Because when someone loses access to your energy, they are forced to face themselves. She began replaying moments in her mind. Your restraint, your composure, your ability to walk away without bitterness. And suddenly, she saw it clearly. You were never weak. You were controlled. And that terrified her. Understand this truth. Those who fear losing control are most unsettled by those who master themselves. Her confession revealed that she sensed your inner authority long before she consciously admitted it. She felt it in how others responded to you, in how conversations shifted when you entered, in how even silence seemed louder around you. And once she said it out loud, once she admitted that you carry something rare, she could no longer deny the implications. Because if you are who she sensed you are, then she misjudged you completely. And that realization carries consequences. She recognized that you are not someone to play with, not someone to manipulate, not someone whose absence would leave her unaffected. She confessed that losing access to you felt like losing leverage. And at that exact point, the spiritual realm intervened. Beloved, hear this clearly. When someone confesses truth about you out of fear, jealousy, or sudden clarity, God does not ignore it. He responds. And he began to rearrange roles. You may have noticed that people who once felt dominant now act uncertain around you. Those who once dismissed you now watch from a distance. Energy that once felt confrontational now feels cautious. That is not imagination. That is recalibration. She felt it too. After the confession, she could not sleep the same way. She became hyper-aware of her words. She avoided mentioning your name. Because every time she did, she felt exposed again. She realized that speaking about you carried weight. Because truth spoken once cannot be undone. And something deeper unsettled her. She sensed that you are protected. Not visibly. Not loudly. But unmistakably. She felt that whatever was watching over you does not tolerate disrespect for long. That realization made her careful. This is why the energy between you shifted without explanation. Why communication changed. Why reactions became delayed, measured, restrained. She knows now that you are not someone to provoke casually. Beloved, this is not about revenge. This is about recognition. You were meant to be underestimated, so that when truth emerged, it would arrive with impact. You were meant to be misunderstood, so that discernment would sharpen within you. You were meant to be silent, so that your presence would speak louder than words. And now, the balance has shifted. Do not rush to reclaim connections that God is redefining. Do not chase validation from those who just learned your worth too late. Your elevation does not require explanation. If this message is stirring something deep inside you, remain open. Stay grounded. And if you feel guided, gently support this message. Your awareness strengthens its reach without breaking the flow. Because what comes next is critical. Her confession did not end with recognition. It triggered something far more dangerous for her, and far more powerful for you. And in the next moment, I will reveal what she realized about your future, and why it made her fear being on the wrong side of your destiny. Beloved one, listen even more closely now. Because after her confession settled into silence, a deeper realization surfaced, one she did not invite, but could not escape. She began to see your future. Not in detail. Not in timelines. But in trajectory. And that frightened her. She realized that you are not stagnant. You are not circling the same lessons. You are not bound to the same limitations that keep others repeating old patterns. You are moving forward, quietly, steadily, irreversibly. She sensed that whatever season you are in now is temporary. That the pressure around you is not punishment, but preparation. That the isolation you carry is not rejection, but refinement. And suddenly, a painful truth struck her. She may have positioned herself on the wrong side of your becoming. This is where her fear intensified. Because she realized that when your elevation becomes visible, people will remember how they treated you before it happened. They will remember who supported you. And they will remember who doubted, dismissed, or diminished you. She confessed, internally, and to another, that she worried her words about you would one day return to her. Not as confrontation, but as consequence. Beloved, understand this. When someone senses your future before it arrives, they either align with it, or they retreat from it. She chose retreat. She began to distance herself, not because you did anything wrong, but because proximity to your destiny reminded her of her own stagnation. You triggered something uncomfortable in her. Self-reflection. And many avoid those who awaken that mirror. She saw that you do not need to prove yourself. That you do not broadcast your plans. That you do not announce your growth. You move in silence. And silence is terrifying to those who rely on noise to feel powerful. She realized that once you step fully into what is forming around you, your absence will speak louder than your presence ever did. That realization humbled her. Because she could sense that when your time comes, you will not look back to explain yourself. You will not pause to justify your journey. You will not seek validation from those who misunderstood you. You will simply be. And that certainty unsettled her more than any imagined confrontation. Beloved, this is why you feel a strange calm lately, even amid uncertainty. This is why old triggers no longer work the same way. This is why your reactions are measured, your words fewer, your discernment sharper. You are stepping into authority. Not the kind that dominates. The kind that stands. She noticed that you stopped reacting to provocation. That you stopped explaining your silence. that you stopped offering access to everyone. And she understood what that meant. You were done negotiating your worth. That realization came with regret. She wondered if she misread you from the beginning. If she mistook your gentleness for weakness. If she confused your patience with passivity. And once that question entered her mind, it refused to leave. Because deep down, she knows this truth. Those who master restraint often hold the greatest power. Beloved, your restraint is not unnoticed in the spiritual realm. Heaven recognizes those who could retaliate, but choose wisdom. Those who could expose, but choose silence. Those who could demand, but choose dignity. And this is why protection surrounds you. Not because you are perfect, but because you are aligned. She felt it. That unseen line around you. That boundary she could no longer cross casually. She sensed that speaking against you now would cost her more than she was willing to pay. And that awareness forced her into caution. This is why the energy shifted so sharply. Why conversations ended abruptly. Why she began watching from a distance instead of engaging directly. She knows now. You are not someone to underestimate twice. Beloved, do not misinterpret her silence as indifference. It is acknowledgement without courage. And this is where your discernment matters most. You are entering a phase where not everyone who recognizes your value is meant to walk with you. Some are only meant to witness it. And learn from afar. Remain composed. Remain grounded. Remain observant. If this message feels precise, receive it calmly. And if you feel led, support its reach in a gentle way. Awareness amplifies alignment. Because the next truth is even more revealing. Her realization about your future awakened another fear. One tied not to who you are becoming, but to what will be revealed about her when your light fully rises. Stay with me. Because in the next moment, I will unveil what she is now afraid others will see, and why she is desperately trying to rewrite the past before your breakthrough arrives. Beloved one, remain still in your spirit as I speak now. Because what followed her realization about your future was not admiration, it was exposure. Once she sensed the direction of your becoming, her thoughts turned inward. And what she saw there unsettled her deeply. She realized that when your light rises, it will not only illuminate your path. It will reveal how others stood toward you before the elevation. This is the fear she cannot silence. Because she knows that people talk. Stories resurface. Timelines are compared. And when truth aligns with outcome, reputations are quietly redefined. She understands now that your success will not need to accuse anyone. It will simply clarify everything. And clarity is dangerous for those who live comfortably in distortion. She became aware that her private words about you, her doubts, her subtle dismissals, her quiet judgments, were not as invisible as she once believed. Energy records everything. And she felt the weight of that. This is why she has begun to shift narratives. Why she suddenly speaks more neutrally about you, or avoids the subject altogether. Why she tries to soften her previous stance, even if only internally. Not because she suddenly supports you, but because she fears being exposed as someone who misread you. Beloved, Hear this truth carefully. When someone realizes they were wrong about you, they do not always apologize. Some attempt to rewrite history. She wondered if she could align herself later, after your rise, without addressing how she treated you before. She questioned whether proximity after success could erase distance during struggle. But something within her knows the answer. Authenticity cannot be faked in the presence of divine order. She sensed that whatever is lifting you now is not influenced by opinions, alliances, or social approval. It is higher. It is cleaner. It is final. And that terrified her. Because it means she cannot control the narrative. She realized that when others begin to recognize your value, they may also recall moments when she spoke against you, or failed to stand with you. Not loudly. Not dramatically. But enough. And in that realization, guilt stirred. Not repentance. But discomfort. Because guilt that does not transform seeks concealment. She began to monitor herself more carefully. To measure her words. To distance herself from conversations that involve your name. Because every mention of you now feels like standing under a spotlight. Beloved, this is not your responsibility. You are not meant to correct her story. You are not meant to defend your past. Your life will speak. And it will speak without emotion, without bitterness, without explanation. This is why your silence is powerful right now. Silence allows truth to unfold naturally. She has noticed your silence. And it unnerves her. Because silence suggests confidence. And confidence suggests inevitability. She sees that you are no longer reacting to misinterpretation. You are no longer chasing clarity from those who misunderstood you. You are no longer explaining your intentions. That tells her something important. You are already beyond the need for her understanding. And that is where her fear deepens. Because she realizes that once you fully cross into your next season, reconciliation, if it comes at all, will come on your terms, not hers. And she is unsure whether she will be invited into that chapter. Beloved, do not let this awareness harden your heart. Let it sharpen your discernment. Not everyone who changes their tone deserves renewed access. Not everyone who recognizes your worth is meant to walk beside you. Some are simply meant to learn from distance. Heaven is sorting relationships around you right now. Quietly. Decisively. And this sorting does not require your intervention. Your role is to remain aligned. If you feel a strange peace mixed with alertness, that is confirmation. If you sense that certain doors are closing without drama, that is protection. If you notice your circle narrowing naturally, that is refinement. This is not loss. This is positioning. And her awareness of this, her fear of exposure, is a side effect, not a signal for action. Let God handle what truth reveals. If this message is resonating, allow it to settle within you. And if you feel guided, gently support its reach. Alignment multiplies when acknowledged. Because the final shift is approaching. Her attempt to rewrite the past will not stop what is unfolding. In fact, it will accelerate the moment when truth stands undeniable. And in the next moment, I will reveal what happens when your breakthrough arrives, and why her confession will no longer matter at all. Stay with me. Beloved one, this is the moment where everything converges. Because when your breakthrough arrives, and it is closer than you think, her confession will lose its power entirely. Not because it was meaningless, but because its purpose will have been fulfilled. Understand this clearly. Some confessions are not meant to reconcile relationships. They are meant to confirm alignment. Her words were never meant to reach you directly. They were meant to activate movement in the unseen. Once she admitted the truth about you, even in secrecy, the cycle completed. From that point forward, heaven no longer needed her awareness to shape your path. And this is where the shift becomes undeniable. When your breakthrough manifests, it will not arrive with chaos. It will come quietly, firmly, unmistakably. You will notice it not in applause, but in authority. Not in noise, but in access. Not in sudden validation, but in permanent change. And in that moment, you will realize something profound. You no longer care who doubted you, because clarity will have replaced curiosity. She will watch from a distance as doors open that she never imagined you walking through. She will see your composure deepen, your voice steady, your presence grounded. And she will understand, too late, that your silence was never weakness. It was preparation. Beloved, this is the divine paradox. By saying nothing, you said everything. By walking away, you stepped forward. By releasing the need to be understood, you positioned yourself to be undeniable. Her confession was the last moment where her perception of you held influence. After that, destiny took over. And destiny does not negotiate. You will not feel the urge to revisit old conversations. You will not seek closure from those who misread you. You will not replay past moments looking for justice. Justice will have arrived quietly, in the form of alignment. This is why you are feeling lighter even before the breakthrough appears. Why your intuition is sharper. Why your patience feels different, not strained, but resolved. You are no longer waiting. You are ready. And when readiness meets divine timing, acceleration follows. She will realize then that her fear was justified. Not because you would retaliate, but because you transcended her entirely. Your success will not expose her loudly. It will simply make her irrelevant to your story. And that is the greatest shift of all. Beloved, hear this final truth. You were never meant to be validated by those who misunderstood you. You were meant to be revealed by the outcome. The chapter where her opinion mattered has already closed. What opens next is authored by God alone. So walk forward with calm certainty. Speak less. Observe more. Protect your energy. And when opportunities appear suddenly, accept them without guilt. When recognition comes unexpectedly, receive it without explanation. When separation feels permanent, trust that it is purposeful. You are not losing anything of value. You are gaining alignment. If this message has reached the core of you, allow it to anchor you. And if you feel guided, quietly support its presence. Those who are aligned will find it at the exact moment they need it. Because this is not the end of your becoming. This is the threshold. And what comes next will make everything that confused you, suddenly make sense. Stay aware. Stay grounded. And remain ready. Because the moment you step fully into what has been forming, the world will see what she confessed, and why it changed everything instantly.